Hello everyone, Carlos Flores, back on basics. So today's topic is about grieving, and I'm going to give you at least a couple of definitions on grieving and how to deal with it. But before we begin, hit subscribe to my YouTube channel, Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so that you can get notified of every video that goes into this YouTube channel. I do at least one video per day. So just keep an eye on those. Hit the like button if you like this video, right? So that way I know how to expand on videos, future videos. And if you have a specific topic, put it in the comment section. So today I'm sporting UC Santa Cruz t-shirt. I've done Reed College. I've done UC Davis. I think I've done Cal Poly Pomona. If not, then I'm gonna wear the Cal Poly Pomona shirt. I actually have a Sac State shirt as well that I'm gonna wear. I just need to lose a couple more pounds so I can fit a little bit better in it. But it's coming. And so why do I do that? Because our kids go to some of the schools. Their significant others goes to either the same school or other schools. We've gone to different schools. I've gone to a number of schools. So education is important. Keep that in mind, everybody. Kids, education is important. No matter what career you want to do, the more you learn, the better it will be. Believe me, I can tell you that. You won't have to start from scratch. From like zero, 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 zero. So, all right. Well, grieving is a very important process, and I keep on saying that about every topic. But every topic is important. To me, every topic is important. But grieving is natural process that everybody should, and I'm saying should, go through whenever somebody close or even somebody passes away, whenever there's a tragic event, whenever you lose a job, you lose something very important and dear to you, you lose a pet, many things. And so I'm saying it should be a natural process because not a lot of us grieve. And that's one thing that we have to take into consideration, because if we don't grieve, then all of that sadness, depression, possibly depression, right? I'm not saying everybody's like that. Anxiety, everything stays inside. And then you tend to get attached to things that you shouldn't. Or some people tend to do things to kind of quiet the mind, and forget about things, using things that they shouldn't. And so grieving is just a natural progression. You have to accept it. Grieve, because that'll help you deal with the loss, right? Grieving helps you deal with a loss, no matter what the loss is. If you grieve, it will do that. For example, I'm not the best person at grieving. When my grandfather passed away, when my aunt passed away, when my grandmother passed away, I wasn't grieving. I did not grieve. I did not cry. I did not, and come to think of it, my reason why I wasn't doing it, it's because I was still going through this trauma. The war just made me, I don't want to say emotionless, but it takes a lot for me to get emotional. And so I didn't grieve for my closest friends that passed away. I didn't grieve for my family members. It's hard. because now I have to process in a different way, so that way I can finally grieve, let it go. It's like if you don't grieve, it's like having attachment, right? It's like every time you don't grieve, you put a pile of rocks on your shoulder. So imagine not grieving for a number of losses. Then your pile is going to be so hard that you won't be able to do anything. You'll always want to be sitting or laying down because you don't want to move because it's so enormous on you. You got to understand, grieving is a natural process. It is. First time that I can really tell you that I grieved was when my cousin passed away from COVID. He was in his late 50s, but he was the one who got me the most. He's the one out of the my aunt's family that really knew how to tell me what to do and course correct. He was part of my support system. He was a very important person in my life. He taught me to be respectful. He taught me to always take care of my parents and my brother. He taught me to take care of my family. He taught me not to get run over from people that take advantage. Uh, he taught me how he worked hard and smart, both combined, so that way he can get to where he was. Um, it was sad. It was sad because it came all of a sudden. I mean, I was there uh, when my mom was talking to him on the phone, uh, and he said he couldn't breathe. And this was during the pandemic. This is not recent. This was maybe what, a year or two ago, and he was hesitant to go to the hospital. So he went to the clinic. They gave him oxygen. Then, of course, he was positive for COVID. Uh, no worse. Then he went to an isolation hospital, and this is in El Salvador. Um, and so my cousin, my female cousin, went to visit him. That was the last visitor that he ever had. He passed away from COVID. The thing is that in El Salvador at that time, what they did was they would put him in an isolation box. They would put him in an ambulance. They would have the family go to the cemetery and dig the hole. Um, the country was super, super cautious. So what they did is they drove the ambulance in people with hazmat suits. Can you imagine hazmat suits? Everything, right? The hole was there. They would put uh, the body down and they would bury it, and then they would clean themselves, and then they would leave. They wouldn't let people go. They wouldn't even let my family members go that same day. And so I never got to see him. I never had the opportunity to say goodbye to him or thank him for everything that I become, for all of the stuff that he told me, all of the advice that he gave me, all of the reality checks that he gave me. And so I mean, I was crying. I've had tears. I didn't cry for my grandmother, my grandfather, my other grandmother, my aunt. But for my cousin, I did because I was close to him. I mean, I was close to everybody. Remember, I've talked about my grandfather in some of the videos. And it was close because we were adults, and he was older than I was, and so he just gave me good advice. And that's good advice that I should listen to, and I should do, and I should start doing it. So, uh, and so I had to go through the grieving process. And I'm still a little bit not done with it, and I'm being very honest with you, but I know where he's at. I have I have uh detached from all these unhealthy attachments that I had, and I have processed. One of the things that I actually did that I would suggest, right, is what I did is I wrote a letter to him. Um I think it was a 2-page letter where I thanked him, where I told him how I felt about him, where I told him that I would do the things that he recommended for me to do. And so, after reading it, I put it aside. Then I came back and I read it out loud, so that way, right? Uh, and then what I did is I actually shredded the letter, because to me, there's another example where you actually burned a letter. It's supposed to just go into the universe. Same thing. If you shred it, it just goes into the universe. Again, I honored my cousin with that letter. I read it out loud. I shredded it. It made me feel really good because I've never took the time to thank him when he was alive, and it sucked that I didn't do that. So, again, grieving is a natural process. Believe me, everybody grieves. If you think that you don't grieve, then you're just lying to yourself. Everybody grieves, and it's a natural process. Use your support system to get through the hard times. Use your support system to course correct and make sure that you process everything. And then use your support system to help them grieve whatever they're grieving. Again, it's a natural process. And so we all have to do it at some point or multiple points in our lives. So, again, if you haven't, do it. Write a letter, shred it, cut it up, right? Release doves or other flying animals or whatever it takes for you to detach and for you to let go and for you to remember and for you to respect the person or whatever you lost or for your loss. So, again, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so that way you can get alerted of new videos. The like button if you like this video. If you have a specific topic, I will be more than happy to give you my opinion on it. Put it in the comment section. Again, grieving is a natural process. It is. You have to go through it. You have to get through that yucky thing, but you will get through it. And the nice thing about it, if it's a person or if it's somebody that you're grieving, the more you talk about him or her or they, the more you're sharing them with others. Until next time, back on basics.